NASA's mission is to explore the unknown.
There's more that we don't know than we do know. That's just the nature of the universe.
In the search for answers, it launches its scientists into space. Its craft beyond the limits of the solar system.
Taking risks is part of making discoveries.
Space exploration is like lighting a match, and we don't know what lurks in the shadows.
Hey, what is that?
There could be anything out there.
A malfunction on the Mir space station leaves 2 astronauts trapped in hard vacuum.
You can survive in your spacesuit, but only for so long.
In an emergency situation, suits become your worst enemy.
NASA's Pluto probe reveals a bizarre alien landscape.
There are mountains, big glaciers. What's going on with this strange little world?
And a circle of glowing lights hovers in the skies near the nerve center of the U.S. space program.
This isn't some little farm in the middle of nowhere. This is over Houston.
When you see a circle of lights in the sky that's unidentified, a lot of people go straight to aliens.
NASA's missions have uncovered disturbing anomalies.
Okay, we're seeing 3 or 4 objects.
There are 3 objects
that continue to perplex our finest scientific minds. These are NASA's unexplained files. An urgent scientific research project forces NASA to use Russia's crumbling Mir space station.
The Mir space station is a potential death trap, and everyone knows that.
Will 2 astronauts pay the ultimate price?
They're locked out of the space station. They're essentially trapped in space.
The clock is ticking.
September 1997. Russia's Mir space station is falling apart. Over the last 7 months, a sequence of unsettling incidents has endangered the lives of NASA astronauts.
There was a fire, and it was caused by the malfunction of an oxygen candle device, which actually burns certain chemicals to release oxygen.
A fireball shot out of it across the spacecraft, actually trapped the crew members away from the rescue vehicle that they'd have to get into if they had to evacuate the space station.
Astronaut Jerry Lininger barely escapes with his life.
Russia completely downplays the fire. They say it lasted for only 90 seconds. But when Jerry Lininger finally communicates with NASA, he tells them it lasted for 14 minutes and it was out of control.
Soon after the fire, a spacecraft on a routine resupply mission collides with Mir.
Again, disaster strikes. The resupply ship crashes into the Spectre module. The hull is cracked, oxygen vents into space. The solar array is destroyed, and the Mir begins to rotate out of control. Mir is adrift for 2 weeks.
NASA knows how dangerous Mir is, but a medical research program into cures for AIDS urgently requires an experiment in zero-G conditions. Mir is the only zero-G lab in existence.
They want to send the astronaut David Wolf up to the space station Mir with the Russians, but Mir's kind of plagued by a lot of issues, a lot of problems.
Astronaut David Wolf becomes a mission specialist on Mir Expedition 24.
So on September 25th, David lifts off to fly up to the Mir space station. Straight away, he starts to notice lots of problems on board, specifically condensation. He sees large balls of essentially slimy, gooey condensate mixed in with slime.
Right from the start, Mir's problems hamper Wolf's mission.
There were numerous power outages on the Mir. In November, there were 4 days that they went without power.
Despite all the problems, he's actually able to get some very valuable science completed and get some of the experiments done that are on a very long list.
As a member of Mir crew, Wolf must also assist with the maintenance of the space station. He prepares for his first spacewalk alongside experienced cosmonaut Anatoly Solovyev.
Spacewalks are considered, I think, to be one of, if not the most dangerous things that we do.
Wolf and Soloviev conduct an extensive examination of the station's exterior, searching for signs of wear and damage.
They've been out there for 3 hours, everything's been going just according to plan, smoothly, and it's time to head back into the space station.
At the end of the scheduled EVA, they climb into Mir's airlock, ready to repressurize.
Once you're in the airlock, you think that's it, you're safe. But really, you're only halfway there.
When they try to seal the airlock's outer door behind them, it refuses to close.
Until the outer hatch is sealed, you can't repressurize the airlock, and without repressurizing the airlock, there's no way to open the inner door.
They're locked out of the space station. They're essentially trapped in space.
3 hours after they started the EVA, the astronauts are running out of air.
The longer you're trapped outside of your capsule, you have to be afraid of overconsumption of your oxygen resources because they're very limited quantities.
A buildup of carbon dioxide could kill them before they run out of air.
Ultimately, CO2 concentrations will build up inside the suit, becoming toxic at a certain level, which will lead to asphyxiation.
For the next 4 hours, they make repeated attempts to fix the outer seal.
There's one last desperate hope for them, and that's to use one of the other modules of the space station as an airlock.
Their only hope of survival is to turn one of Mir's habitation modules into an improvised airlock.
The problem with that solution is that that module is not designed for guys in big, bulky spacesuits to be crawling in and out of it.
But both astronauts are connected to the station's exterior by life-preserving tethers. To get into the habitation module, they'll have to disconnect.
While the tethers usually just keep you from floating off into space, most people don't realize that the tethers also help regulate the suit temperature. Once the tether is unhooked, you've got 5 minutes before you're cooked alive inside your suit.
The plan is risky, but the alternative is a slow death by asphyxiation.
They disconnect, but instantly the heat makes their suit visors fog up, and they're blind.
Struggling to see, the astronauts feel their way into the habitation module.
They have to move quickly, but moving quickly in a suit means exerting a lot of energy. You're going to heat up, and you're going to produce even more fog inside the suit.
Without their tethers, the astronauts are at risk of heat stroke, and time is slipping away.
After a tremendous amount of effort, they're able to bundle themselves into the temporary airlock, get the outer hatch shut, and then get back into the Mir space station.
What should have been a 4-hour EVA became a grueling 12-hour fight for survival. Despite the close call, the Mir space station remains in service for another 3 years.
When you go to an aging space station, you're going to expect some problems, but not the serious ones that happened.
A NASA probe discovers something impossible on the surface of Pluto.
Pluto just blows everyone's mind.
There's mountains and valleys on this tiny planet 3 billion miles away. How can that be?
Pluto should be geologically dead.
What's going on with this strange little world?